This is wild.
The 271st and final game of this NFL regular season. No better place for it. Welcome to Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and a must-win for the Green Bay Packers. And their MVP quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, tonight taking on Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. It's Week 18 of Sunday Night Football on NBC. Thanks for having us in. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark in a little bit. About 40 minutes or so ago, Seattle won. That means Detroit's knocked out. So the stakes are simple. Packers win, they're in. If the Lions win or it's a tie, Seattle goes to the playoffs. We're in Philadelphia the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Green Bay loses. They're 4-8. We think they're done. How have they turned it around?
Well, you got Aaron, of course, and then the defense has been playing really well. Special teams. How about Keyshawn Nixon and some of the kickoff returns? The defense now 12 takeaways in the last 4 games. Christian Watson has become that go-to wide receiver for him. Right now, the Packers, they're relaxed, they're confident, and they're dangerous.
And they're hot, but Detroit's even hotter. The Lions have won 7 of their last 9. I know they can't make the playoffs, but perceptions are hard to change, and the Lions and their quarterback are doing that this year.
Jared Goff is getting popular. You go no interceptions in your last 8 games, it'll do that for you. This offensive line, though, I tell you, they're arguably the best in all of football. They can run it. Jared Goff rarely gets touched when he's throwing the football. But defensively, the Lions are ranked 32nd in the league. That's going to be a big challenge here tonight at Lambeau.
Well, this evening here, Chris, in Green Bay, as we've seen around the league all throughout this weekend, the continued incredible outpouring of support for Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin as he thankfully continues to recover in a Cincinnati hospital. That shows support with the players on the field and that love from Lambeau right now.
Throughout this week, the entire NFL family has been praying for Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills as he continues his recovery. And we thank the first responders and medical professionals involved in his care. The Green Bay Packers ask you to join us in a moment of support and love for Damar and cheer for him and his family as they continue their fight. Thank you.
Two months ago, things felt a lot different in these parts.
You're thinking they still have a shot to make the playoffs? What are you, crazy?
Had we lost faith? Well, that depends who you ask.
Packer fans don't lose faith. We might run a little low on it, but we never actually lose it.
Nobody's worried about the Packers and blah, 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 blah. Now what are you going to say?
Throws, end zone, touchdown Green Bay. The Packers have battled back. You gotta like the heart.
I don't know what happened when the clock turned to December.
The Packers are alive.
It was like we're the Pack again.
In the playoff picture.
This is our time. Bring on those feisty Lions.
Goff wants to throw, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions.
We are figuring out a way to win. That's what winners do.
That's what Detroit about. Fighting hard and grinding.
We are the most dangerous team in the NFC. Buckle up.
Winning you're in, we'll take that setup any time of the week. And Sunday night is perfect.
I believe.
I believe.
Go Pack, go.
Go Lions.
Next stop is the playoffs.
Well, loyal fans of these longtime rivals settled in front of a fire all across the Midwest. Meeting 187, Lions-Packers, playoffs on the line for Green Bay. For more on tonight, here's Melissa Stark.
Well, Mike, it was a unique situation for the Lions less than an hour ago, not knowing their playoff fate. I'm told that the players in the locker room were not watching the Rams and Seahawks in overtime. But at the time, I happened to be on the field with Lions running back Jamal Williams, who said, "Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I came ready to play." Of course, they were eliminated, but there's still plenty to play for. Linebacker Alex Anzalone told me, number one, we have the opportunity to have a winning record, which we haven't had in a long time. Two, we can play spoiler against a division opponent. And three, we have a chance to go out with a bang. When you're a little kid, this is what you dream about. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers told us the Packers are starting to become a dangerous team, but he expects this to be the Packers' toughest test in their recent win streak. Rodgers said he's had this game marked on his calendar for a while, using it as motivation, because no matter what happens tonight, this will be his last game of the season at Lambeau. Rodgers said he wants to walk off this field as a winner, Mike.
Well, if he does, Melissa, they will go to San Francisco for the wild card game next weekend. A Lion win or a tie, Green Bay out, and Seattle plays their division rival on wild card weekend. If the Packers win, Matt LaFleur takes his team to the playoffs for a fourth consecutive year. There is the head coach of the Packers, who's had great success. On the other side, Melissa mentioned a winning record. If Dan Campbell's team wins tonight, first time the Lions are above 500 in 5 years. Detroit won the toss to first, the option. So their punter is their kickoff man, Jack Fox, and that's Keyshawn Nixon, the dangerous return man for the Packers. Temperature is 24, a breeze in the air, win and in for Green Bay, and off we go. 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers, as Melissa said, final start at Lambeau this season, year 18 in the league. Significant drop-off in these numbers from last year's MVP season. More picks, he's had a thumb injury, ribs have bothered him. The best thing he's done late in the year, lead. This week, Fallon's all new with Al Pacino, Leslie Jones, our friend, Pedro Pascal, Chelsea Handler, among others. All new Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon this week on NBC. Along the Fox River, principal tributary of Green Bay, not the city, but the body of water. Speaking of bodies, get three. Quay Walker, the rookie, made the tackle. So Chris mentioned Jared Goff at the top of the broadcast, former #1 overall pick of the Rams. Look at his numbers the last 8 games. 15 touches, no picks, and the best passer rating in the league. It's his second year with the Lions since coming over in the Matthew Stafford trade. We'll talk about the type of season and the adjustment it's been for the 7th-year man out of Cal as our night goes on. Well covered as he's down around the 22-yard line. So Detroit special teams get the job done on Nixon. And Rodgers and the Packers will take over just outside their own 20 when we come back. All right, dust off those preseason predictions. We'll look at that, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. So many people had the Green Bay Packers for sure as a playoff team. Right? 76% probability start of the season. The 3-1 start had continued, but then they crater. 6% chance of making the playoffs at 4-8. But coming into today's action, 64% as they've bounced back. So try to go from 4-8 to the playoffs. The 08 Chargers, the 2014 Panthers, and Doug Peterson's Jacksonville Jaguars, who completed that journey last night with a victory in Duval County over the Tennessee Titans. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Geico. Those of you who've done the bucket list trip here to Lambeau, you know it's expanded a lot recently. It's Titletown, that area. Hotels, shops, ice skating. A little run down the hill there. So much they have built around this Cathedral of Football, 66th season. So Dan Campbell, coach of the Lions. He played for the Lions, one of the teams he played for in his decade career in the NFL. He's one of 4 head coaches to be a player in the league for a decade. Then was the interim head coach in Miami. So he got a little head coaching case, and then Sean Payton did a great thing. He said, come here, let me teach you how to be a head coach. He was the tight ends coach and the assistant head coach for the Saints. 2 years Detroit, rebuild last year. Much better looking 2022 model of this Lions team. Mason Crosby kicks to Justin Jackson, takes the line drive at the 1-yard line, and Jackson knifes through out to the 25-yard line. So he's an assistant with New Orleans, and New Orleans is in a playoff game, and Campbell goes for the interview with Rod Wood, the team president, and Sheila Ford Hemp, the owner. And Dan Campbell is sitting there, and he has big coffees, and he just leans into the Zoom meeting, and he says, I want this blanking job.
And his head's about that big, and the screen's about that big, and he's yelling at everybody, but it's what he is, you know. He really sort of personifies not just this team, but that city in many ways. There's a great passion for Detroit Lions football, and he's bringing it out in everybody.
At the 46-yard line, good field position for Rodgers here at the end of the quarter. Green Bay wins. They go to San Francisco for Wild Card Weekend. As a matter of fact, Super Wild Card Weekend presented by Verizon. Here is the lineup of the windows on CBS, Fox, and NBC and Peacock. 2 games Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, then in primetime Saturday night. Sunday afternoon at 1, 4:30. Then we'll be with you in our typical slot, 8:15 on Sunday night. And then ABC and ESPN will be in their typical Monday night slot at 8:15. The games and times to match the networks will be announced at some point soon. Tony and Jason for our AWS Next Gen Stats Studio Update. Maria.
Appreciate it, Mike. Well, we've all watched tragedy turn to triumph as Damar Hamlin continues his recovery, and ultimately it was a storybook beginning in Orchard Park with the Bills' win over New England.
What a start for the Bills. Nyheim Hines takes the opening kickoff on the 4-yard line. It's a middle return, but he puts his foot in the ground and bounces it outside. He gets a great block from Reggie Gilliam, and he does the rest.
How about this? Hines reached a top speed of 21.25 miles per hour. That's the fastest speed by a Bills ball carrier so far this season. And this game came down to overtime, Tony.
Yes, Jason Myers with a chance to keep the Seahawks alive, but no, he dunks it off the post. But his defense gets the ball back for him in overtime, and this time he finishes it off.
Yes, the 32-yarder is good in OT. The Seahawks did their job, so Steve Kornacki break down the NFC bracket as it's almost set.
It's all settled except who will get the number 7 seed in the trip to San Francisco. Whoever it is going to be an underdog. We can tell you that. If the Packers win tonight, they get the 7th spot. Our PFF model says the Niners would have a 62% chance there. If the Packers lose, Seattle plays the Niners, and our model says the Niners would have a 74% shot. Eagles, by the way, the top seed. Our model says their odds of making the Super Bowl as the NFC representative, 34%, a lukewarm favorite, we call it.
Lukewarm, I love it. Okay, the second quarter's coming up. But first, if AWS can do this for the NFL, imagine what they can do for your business.
Welcome back to Lambeau. I am joined by Lions head coach Dan Campbell. And Dan, the team found out shortly before kickoff that you were eliminated from the playoffs. We have seen some huge defensive plays. How motivated are you guys?
Yeah, we don't want them to go. So that's our motivation. So we're ready. We're trying to play. We're trying to finish this game and see if we can make some plays on both sides of the ball, special teams. And that's our objective.
Offensively, what do you want to see to get in the end zone?
We just got to be more efficient. You know, third down, we haven't been real good right now, you know, and really that starts with running the ball a little bit better on first and second down. So we'll get in a rhythm. It's just taking a minute. So our defense just continue to play hard here, see if we can get a takeaway. And then offensively, we'll get our rhythm. It takes a minute. This type of night, great environment, all this, you can't ask for anything better.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay.
But Green Bay still comes away with 3. Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Toyota, let's go places. By H&R Block, it's tax season. By Verizon, the network you deserve, the savings that last. And by Applebee's, now that's eating good, in the neighborhood. Some of the moments, including the Aaron Rodgers to Richard Rodgers miracle in Motown on a Thursday night. Part of the highlights of this matchup dating back to 1930. And Aaron Rodgers has been a big part of that. So many names and players over the years, and it's been a rivalry. Green Bay's dominated 103-74 with 7 ties over the years. We talked about Rodgers against the Lions over the years. These two states, they border each other up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and touching the top of Wisconsin. But in Wisconsin, it's been all Packers, 28-3, best home record in the NFL against one team for a minimum of 20 games. And the Lions have had a carousel of quarterbacks, and they've seen for the last 3 decades, Favre or Rodgers pretty much.
It's not a pretty sight.
No, it's not. It's why the record's been so lopsided against the Lions, the Bears, the Vikings over the years. So the Lions have their best drive of the night, come away with nothing. The Pack leads by 6. Premier League Derby weekend on USA and Peacock. Saturday, the Manchester Derby, United takes on City, having their incredible year with Holland scoring all those goals. And then the North London Derby with Tottenham and Arsenal. They'll be on Peacock on Sunday. It hasn't been all that cold, but cold enough to ice fish. Have you ever been?
No.
No? Would you?
I like I like some things ice with my fish.
5.5 to go. And down to the field, here's Melissa.
Mike, I talked to Christian Watson about how his relationship with Aaron Rodgers has evolved. Watson said it was difficult at first, trying not to let Rodgers down. But now he doesn't just think, oh, I'm playing with Aaron Rodgers. He thinks of him as a teammate. And Watson even went as far to say, I know he had a special connection with now Raider wide receiver Davante Adams. And he said, I think that connection is possible with me. I do everything I can to get open for him.
Well, Chris, you talk about what Melissa was talking about, the relationship with Rodgers. Sometimes when you have success on the field, it makes that relationship go right away, and he did.
Yeah, but I can remember playing with Kenny Anderson, and he was a decade plus older than I was, too. It's always an interesting relationship when you're trying to develop that.
With Watson in motion, faking a little push pass to him. Aaron Jones runs into the waiting arms of the Lions defense, and Benito Jones again will be second down coming up. Here's the first play of the season on offense for Green Bay. Rodgers, home run shot. Watson's got it, didn't get it, and that led to some other drops. Even that Dallas game you talked about, the 3 touchdowns, he had a couple of drops there, right?
Yeah, but that was his bugaboo coming out of college. He was a burner, and he did great, but look at what he's done since week 9. He has just exploded and become a real possibility for Offensive Rookie of the Year this year.
Coming up, Toyota halftime back in the studio with Maria, Tony, and Jason. The Bills-inspired performance against New England, and of course the full playoff picture. I know we were getting ready for the game, but you had to stop and watch everything, and just everything that was the football and the great connection of players, teams, coaches, fans we have seen on display over the last couple of days.
And DeMar, if you're still watching football, we're all thinking and praying for you back there in tremendous city of Cincinnati, who really opened up their hearts to him so much, and they turned the town blue for the Buffalo Bills. And oh my gosh, we were all just heartsick all week long. We're so happy you're doing better.
Strategy.
Green Bay.
Each team with 1 timeout left, but only 5 seconds to go. We started talking about it a moment ago. The Seattle folks were disappointed that these games were not simultaneous, but I don't know what you think, but I don't think we're seeing Detroit give any less if they were alive or now that they know they're eliminated.
I'm not sure what would mean more to them. Well, that's a stupid comment, but clearly they'd like to go to the playoffs, but they would love to knock the Green Bay Packers out and would love to have a winning record this season. As a matter of fact, Dan Campbell told the guys, don't even pay attention to the game.
Well, you heard what he said to Melissa at the end of the quarter, right?
Right.
And what if we got an emotion out of somebody? I feel like you guys are looking in on us here. Ford called the timeout. Anyway, here's the live field goal. Badgley knocks it through, and it's 9-6 with a 33-yarder. The penalty on Douglas definitely came after he touched the ball, as you were talking about, Chris, in that scrum. You were dead on that. So that's where the flag came. It made it easier. Detroit gets the ball to start the second half. It is 9-6 as they watch in Seattle. We go back to the studio to Maria, Tony, Jason, Toyota halftime.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Tonight's first half highlights are brought to you by Chevrolet.
Welcome to Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Temperature is 24. Win and in for Green Bay, and off we go. It's Lazard, and he's stopped. Anzalone was all over it. As Hutchinson chases him and gets him.
How about that?
Robert Tonyan, terrific grab. Got him again. Hutchinson, 2 sacks.
Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Final half of the regular season and then the postseason, and 1 spot remains. It'll be Green Bay or Seattle. Right now, Green Bay leads by 3. Hutchinson, couple of sacks. So he's the 4th player since they started officially tracking sacks, with 9.5 sacks and 3 interceptions. Not just rookies, any player. Some big names there. Packers offense, no touchdown first half of both games against the Lions this year. They were limited to 9 points total in the game at Ford Field. And Green Bay win and in and go to Santa Clara to play the 49ers on Wild Card Weekend, Super Wild Card Weekend, and everyone in Seattle is rooting for the Honolulu Blue and Silver of the Detroit Lions. Lions win or a tie, and Seattle will go to the postseason.
Yeah, how about Pete Carroll's team anyway? I mean, at the beginning of the year, nobody was picking Seattle to go to the playoffs.
9-8, dramatic finish. Game to overtime to beat the Rams in Seattle. This kickoff is going to be short and returned from the 5-yard line by Shane Zylstra, the tight end, across the 25. And Melissa spoke with Matt LaFleur coming out of halftime.
Matt, Dan Campbell told me at the end of the first quarter that their main motivation is to keep you guys from going to the playoffs. What did you tell your guys at halftime?
Well, hey, we got 30 more minutes. We're in a brawl right now, a street fight. Whoever wants it more is going to win the game. And we got to go out there, play smart, play discipline, and ultimately got to execute.
No touchdowns yet for you tonight. What's it going to take to get in the end zone?
Well, when we got to do a better job blocking movement when we get down there. We had a couple of miscues, and then you got to capitalize. We can't have drops. Obviously, we had a turnover right there before or in that 2-minute drive, and just we got to finish.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Melissa.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Well, Magnum PI is coming to NBC. Escape to Hawaii with Magnum, Higgins, and the whole Ohana. Get in on the action. It premieres February 19th on NBC. Remember, the original Magnum PI featured Detroit-born Tom Selleck, who made the Old English D worn by the Detroit Tigers famous as he wore it throughout the years. That Old English D, it's been on the Tigers hat since 1904.
Welcome back to Lambeau. Lions running back Jamal Williams with the touchdown before the break. I talked to Lions Hall of Fame running back Barry Sanders about him. He said, you couldn't ask for much more from a running back. Sanders likes the power and the vision that Williams runs with, that he's always moving forward, the way he breaks tackles. On possibly breaking Sanders' franchise record of 16 rushing touchdowns, Sanders said, I think that would be great. It gives people a chance to look back and be reminded of my career.
And that's worth remembering. He was one of the greats of all time. Go to YouTube, Barry Sanders highlights are just eye-opening. Williams has had many this year. Barry Sanders back in the fold and very much around the Detroit football team. The biggest party in Hollywood is back. It's the Golden Globes, celebrating the year's best in film and television. It all happens live Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Keyword there is happens live. That party can get interesting, so look forward to seeing that Tuesday night. 3:17 to go here at Lambeau, third quarter. Tight end pushing the block forward to the 31-yard line. Chris, I want to take you back to April 23rd, 2005. Jared Goff is 10 years old. He's grown up in Northern California. He's a 49ers fan. He's a Cal Bear fan, too, because both of his parents were Berkeley alums. And the quarterback at the time was Aaron Rodgers at Cal. So Jared's playing a Little League game that day. The Niners have the first pick. He plays the game, expects to come off the field and say, my favorite team, the Niners, drafted the college quarterback of my parents' alma mater. Well, we know that Alex Smith was taken first. Jared was crushed. He's become friends with both Smith and Rodgers since, but he wants to beat Aaron and knock him out of the playoffs here tonight. From historic Lambeau Field. After these messages.
Number 4 and number 12 will be forever tied together, and they did a lot of things alike. Let's go back and let's watch old Brett Favre and the way he threw the ball, both feet off the ground on so many of his throws. And Aaron Rodgers, yes, sir, you got it. And you go, why would those guys do it? It's so hard to throw the football like that. But it also protected them throughout the course of their career. When your feet are off the ground, you don't have linemen falling in to your knees and the knee surgery. And we know how long these guys were able to stay healthy and continue to play. But you can only throw with both feet off the ground if you've got a howitzer or an arm. And those guys certainly did. Do not try that at home.
We're trying to tie the game or take the lead with a score, which would be good for the people of Seattle. Packers win, they're the 7. Lions win, or we end up in a tie, and the Seahawks advance the playoffs, and the Packers are eliminated. The 7 playing in Santa Clara against the 49ers on Super Wildcard Weekend. The weekend starts on Saturday with 2 games, 3 games on Sunday. We'll be with you Sunday night, and then a game on Monday night. And We'll wait for the lineup and all the stuff that comes with it, the times and networks coming up at the end of this one or a little bit later on tonight. 8, Melissa.
Mike, I talked to Jamal Williams about being back in Green Bay for this game. He said Packers fans still reach out to me. They tell me they love me, they miss me. But he was trying to keep his emotions in check tonight. He said it's great to see old friends and teammates like Aaron Jones, who he calls his brother forever, said he's family. But he did send some trash talk this week to Jones along with some passive-aggressive compliments and said Jones did it right back.
Those two with great personalities and similar play style. Establishments around the great Northwest and in Seattle, they are Lions fans. And on social media, they are Lions fans as well. This is the Seahawks official account. One pride is the Lions hashtag, and giving the Lions the ball at midfield. From Green Bay, Wisconsin, tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark, Terry McCauley, our Sunday night team, wrapping up this 2022 regular season. And the Green Bay Packers at home, down 4, trying to stay alive and earn the 7th spot. Lions a couple of first downs away.
The line of scrimmage, snapped the ball, did not give Green Bay a chance to get set. And instead, it's game, set, and match.
The Detroit Lions will finish with a winning record. Jared Goff has led this team to a comeback win on the road, and the Green Bay Packers are eliminated. Seattle will go to the playoffs as the 7th seed.
Congratulations to Dan Campbell. I mean, what he's done keeping this team together in the second half of this season and end up with a winning record, just amazing.
What a turnaround for this team and for Dan Campbell and this franchise. And now Aaron Rodgers. This has been the case with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So many players want to talk to them. And Jared Goff comes over to Rodgers as well. The Packers are stunned.
I'm stunned. 2 games against the Detroit Lions really was their season.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think Jameson Williams asked Aaron Rodgers for his jersey, and Aaron said, I'm going to hold on to this one. So that just adds to the
questions.
The speculation that will happen for months here. Jamal Williams, former teammate. Lions fans are down there behind their bench cheering, but the story and the focus right now is not the Lions winning, but for the moment it is Rodgers. And Aaron's going to take a long look around here, I bet, and take it in a little bit. Because we know that the speculation has been year in, year out. What the organization decides, what he decides, and with Randall Cobb, those two were together, locked arms, emotional before the game started during the national anthem. And they've kind of paired up here to make sure they leave Lambeau, if this is the last time, together.
We saw so much quarterback movement last year. Anything's possible. They started the game that way. They're finishing the season that way.
Just don't know if it'll be the final time or not. A lot's going to happen here in the offseason, but these two guys have been through a lot. This is one of Aaron's closest friends. He has talked about it a lot. Having Randall back, he really wanted him back and got him back a couple of years ago. And from that national anthem, like you said, Chris, just kind of think in the back of your mind. Just never know. One of the great careers of all time. Might be one more chapter. Chapter 1 for Aiden Hutchinson, a face of the rebuild of this franchise. And the fans have come across the border or around Lake Michigan to Wisconsin to celebrate. This has been a house of horrors for generations of Lions and Lions fans. And making the playoffs was their hope and their goal. That was out of their control. But absent of making the playoffs, there is nothing sweeter for the fan base of this team than knocking out the king in the NFL's castle. And the play that sealed it was Jared Goff. The other end of the Matthew Stafford trade, he watched Stafford win the Super Bowl with his old team. Now he's taken Stafford's team to a new height in this rebuild, engineered by Dan Campbell. Biting kneecaps, trading places with some of the best in the league, and trying trick plays when nobody would thought. With an energetic young core led by the number 2 pick in last year's draft, Aiden Hutchinson, the Lions say farewell to the Packers for 2022, and will we say farewell to one of the best to do it in this stadium. The SNF postgame's coming up, but first, these messages from your local NBC station.